Hi, I'm John and welcome back to my Lair of Action Figures. So Hasbro released a short video. Kind of did see this one come in due to the fact that we got Marvel and Star Wars. I did put a post on Facebook, so if you follow me there, you'll know about it. I talked about it, that we were going to get a Joe. But I'm a bit surprised because we're getting a short and all the other ones got nearly 30 minutes of presentation. So of course this is a lot of blah blah around how they did some colors on it and how they have removable stuff, and they still didn't manage to give in 6-inch a wheel blanket to go over there, or a camo coverage. So yeah, this is one huge disappointment. Of course, we're not going to be having a look at this because this is not the interesting part. Now, the only part that I know is you're going to be able to pre-order this item to the 4th of January 2026, and it's going to be coming out next year. Now, the big problem with that coming out next year, a lot of American fans or other people may not know how their financial situation will be. Will they have the money? How is everything going to look? What's going to be the next HasLab? So this is going to be a bit of a problem, and due to the fact that we are not taking, or they are not taking any money as a deposit, this is going to end up with a lot of people cancelling their orders, and there might be some leftovers, or for some people who wanted to order that fast, they might have got a possibility to do it. But what I was more interested about, and that's why I'm going to be putting up the sound a bit, because I want to talk about the digital renders that they are revealing. So let's put some sound up. So blah 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 blah, yes, ships next year. We're going to have a ton of people cancelling, and we're going to end up with a boatload of it, and that's going to be problematic. So come on, Lenny. Okay.
We want to keep building out the world of Arctic, so up first, let's talk about the Joe here.
Okay, so let's talk about the Joe. So, of course, as you can see, we're having a look at that close-up. I'm going to be filming in the office. What I think, so over here, what do we have? Technically, we have Big Ben, because this is technically Big Ben. Here is the gas mask, here is the kind of Uzi that he got, his double AR-15 barrel stuff was stupid, and of course the SIG machine gun over here. Why Hasbro? I'll be going into more details about this figure when I'm going to be showing you what Hasbro could have done instead of this garbage figure. Now, of course, I don't like the Steel Brigade, so that for me it makes sense, but what I'm proposing is way superior to what they would have doing, and it would have been a perfect repaint compared to that. Okay, next figure.
So up next, clearly you need a heavy in the snow, so this is our Arctic Saw Viper.
So, Saw Viper as a second figure, kind of interesting. Of course, a lot of reused bits and pieces. This is from the Deluxe Snow Trooper, so will this fit over here? I have doubts about it. You might have to remove some stuff. As you can see, there's no hole in here, or there doesn't seem to be a hole. Maybe they're going to add it, because there's no way that the backpack over here is going to fit in over there. And again, Saw Viper, this is not an army builder figure. This is not something that you will want to put too many times around your his tank. This is a basic heavy gunner unit, and if you've been in the army or know something about the army, this is not the majority of your troop if you're going to be doing troop building. Again, I have some way better stuff to propose than what these guys are doing, so yeah, this is a bit disappointing.
And he's awesome. We included the wolf pelt so he can rock it on top of his helmet, because what's cooler than a Saw Viper? A werewolf Saw Viper, right? So again, you heard two. We're doing two Cobra Troops here.
Yeah. So our last new is a new Viper. Actually, we're calling this the Rift Viper. You get dropped in the Arctic.
So this is supposed to be a new Viper. Wow. And I mean, Lenny, your designer, I mean, for me, I'm looking at this figure, and what do I see? I see the Night Viper. I don't see any kind of new figure. You may have called him a bit differently, but this is a Night Viper. Again, sniper rifle What does this tell me? This is not an army builder figure either. And how many are you going to have? Okay, you can change, remove it. The backpack is a bit also special. You will not army build with this kind of backpack. You may have 1 or 2 figures. And personally, I don't think this is something of very interesting that they're giving us over here. So again, this is a bit of a disappointment when we see what Hasbro gave us for Star Wars, what Hasbro gave us for, what's the name of it, Marvel Legends. I mean, this is something that is ridiculous. And I mean, a 3-minute video versus 30-minute video. Do you guys care about your G.I. Joe line? Because this seems to suck. And where is our friend Iceberg? Iceberg was announced, and you can shout as much as you want, Yo Joe. It's not going to change anything. Anyway, enough of these guys. Let me show you what I'm talking about and what Hasbro should have done with these figures and what they should have relaunched. So let's talk about the first figure that was revealed, who is this guy over here. So of course this is Big Ben. As you can see, you recognize he comes with mostly the same kind of accessories that we have seen with the other figure. And what they did, they removed his belt over here, and of course the head is being removed to be replaced by a stealth corp. Now, if you have this figure, you will know that this guy is pretty big, and he towers a bit over some of the other figures, so that's going to put the stealth corp guy as a pretty massive figure and pretty tall. So again, not something that I would have liked to see. Now, as I was saying when I was commenting the video, well, there was something that you could have done, and it is this guy over here. Now, if you look, this would have been the perfect army builder or the G.I. Joe green shirt, or should I say white shirt, due to the fact that he would be in Arctic. Now, of course, I can understand that this is a deluxe figure, and of course they want to stay with their $27.99 or maybe a bit higher, depending on how the tariffs are going to evolve, but let's call it $27. Now, of course, I can understand that some people may say, well, John, I can understand, but this is going to be a bit of an expensive figure. So yeah, it is true, but again, you had basically a figure that you could use. Of course, I have over here, but again, you don't need to use this tactical vest if you don't want to use it. You don't need to use an extra pouch. You can keep over here the holster, because that seems logic. Over here, you could have removed the glove hands and give this full glove hands and not partial gloved hands. Over here, due to the fact that he has already a balaclava, would have made sense that you could use it as a winter soldier also, because that would have worked perfectly well also. Now, afterwards, what you could do is should also say, well, why not we use the body of this guy over here, who's no job, and should put this kind of head. You have the goggles over here that are there, and you could should build up this guy and should use him as an army builder. It would make sense. So as you can see, this is some possibilities that you have. Now again, you know that I hate this weapon over here. I don't like it. I find it pretty ridiculous, but you could have gone with it. Now, of course, when we're talking about maybe keeping the figure over here, and we could keep his poncho over here and put it in the winter camo in the same way as the bivouac is. And you can say, well, let's say we want maybe a cheaper set and we don't want this kind of harness, then we could go on to this guy. Of course, this is Grunt. Grunt has a very interesting chest plate over here with the ammo, the clips over here. You have, of course, the knife who's over here, who's a nice little add-on. And you have the tactical computer over here, who's a bit of a pain because I kind of removed it and now it doesn't want to fit in properly. So that's a bit of a pain. But of course, you could say, well, John, this is still too expensive. Then no problem giving you the cheap version. Give us this. You should have the harness over here. You reuse the pistol. You don't even need to reuse the knife. Should give us the pistol. Give us this harness on the body of this guy with the punch. Now, regarding the weapons, you have a standard AR-15 that you can give us, whose was given with, or M16 would work pretty fine. You want to keep this machine gun because you want to have a bit of a heavy building a heavy gunner system, hey, I'm all for it. Get rid of the 50 cal, not needed. The helmet could be kept also, like I said, if you want to use it. A pair of goggles, or should we use this little part over here that he has over there on him, and this would work pretty fine. Sorry for the light reflection. That would have worked perfectly for this figure. I don't understand why would you need to do anything different than that with this. This figure would have worked out perfectly fine and would have been far superior to this steel core guy that we're getting, who I'm really not looking forward to. Now let's talk a bit about Cobra. So, of course, this is one of my Soul Vipers that I did not have time to open. And again, do I want this figure? I don't think it's an army builder. I bought some to have some because I believe that every heavy semi-automatic weapon should have a bit more than 1 or 2 pieces. So if you have a Cobra squad, it's normal that you're going to have 2 or 3 of these guys in it. It does make sense, but more than that becomes a bit not really interesting. So, and the gear that comes with it is very disappointing because I don't know how it's going to fit. They will have to make a hole in the wolf skin so that he can fit his backpack over here. Or the backpack, you're not going to put it on and you're going to have the ammo crate who's over here. And that's going to be a bit disappointing, if we can call it in that way. So yeah, not much of a fan of using this figure over here. And as I can't see how the wolf head's going to fit over there. That means you will have to remove it and it's going to look like that. And then you still have the heavy armor over here that you're going to remove. So I don't know really how that's going to work. Maybe they're going to retool it, but I don't believe so. Due to the fact that Hasbro is trying to save money. Now, for me, there was way better to do. And of course, you can say that John, Hasbro should have ideas. Well, they did have ideas back in the day. Have a look at this. This is a box set from the 25th anniversary. This one is a really cool set that they came out with. There was 2 squads. So this is set 2. The first squad was, of course, the winter. It was not the winter one, but it was a desert version where we got some pretty cool figures in desert version. But look over here, what do we have? We have some snow serpents, we have an officer over here, we have some vipers. Wow, cool, we have a televiper. We have an Arctic scrap iron, who's a nice little add-on. And of course over here we have a fudge ball shared with a quick kick because he can have a sleeveless shirt in winter. I'm not really convinced that would really happen. Poor guy's going to freeze to death, so not really logic over here. Let's turn around this box and have a look at the box from the other side. So as you can see, you do have plenty of possibilities. And again, Hasbro, you want to save money? Hey, I'm all up for it. Use the head of this guy over here, the Viper, put it on a snow serpent. You can do it. It's easy. Does not cost you any money. You have the molds. You want to do a communication televiper. Same thing. Use this body. Maybe remove the parachute system because it's a bit not really necessary. And I don't see them running around with it except if they got engaged and they did not have time. The trip managed to get rid of their primary parachute would have made sense. So yeah, that would be something that would have been discarded. Of course, you had some other possibilities. You could make a Cobra Trooper also. You could make some other figures based on the Snow Serpent's outfit. So again, there was so many more possibilities to do something way better than what you're giving us here, and something that would encourage people to army build. Because I mean, Viper with the Snow Serpent body, that speaks to me as an army builder. If I have 1, 2, 3 his tanks, those are the guys I'm going to have the most around my his tank than having Soul Vipers or the Sniper from Winter. So yeah, I think this is something that would have made a lot more sense than what we got from Hasbro. So yeah, very disappointed by it. I'm normally not trying to be going on such a rant, but I really think that Hasbro has lost its way, and going to be doing some videos in 2026 where I'm going to be talking about where Hasbro told us, well, when you're going to do this, we're going to be following these trends. Didn't happen. Same thing happened with the HasLab, and I did talk about it, made a video about it, where I said, well, Hasbro backed themselves in a corner because of the HISS tank, and now we're seeing that, well, anything can be on the table again, so this is a bit disappointing, and I think Hasbro is taking a bit the G.I. Joe community for fools, and I don't really appreciate that. I think that's counterproductive to the collection. Anyway, I'm really sorry about this one. Let me know what you think about it. Are you enjoying what you're seeing? Are you going to be picking up multiple pieces? Or you're just going to pick up 1 or 2 pieces like that? Or you're not just going to buy them because you think that they're garbage like me? Let me know in the comment section. Let me know also if you're going to be picking up more than 1 piece of the Arctic HISS tank. Let me know, and let's start a conversation in the comment section. Anyway, that's going to be it for my thoughts about the new announce of digital renders of G.I. Joe and the Arctic HISS tank. If you like this kind of videos, please leave a like, share, comment in the section, subscribe to the channel. It does help out a lot. Share the video, that helps out a lot to go to the goals. And if you want to go and check out some more news and some other stuff that I do, you can go to my Facebook or Instagram page. There's a link in the description if you want to go and check out some cool pictures. Go there. Until then, I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!